everyone, welcome to another Friendly Friday video. This week I'm starting out with 3 strips of layering paper from Hero Arts. Layering paper is actually just 8.5 by 11 sheets of paper, and it's the same color as their note cards. It's white on one side, pink on the other, so it's great for making portions of cards, you know, to layer things on your card, or if you're going to make like a different shaped card, if it's a little bit larger or just a different shape than what they sell already folded in their note card sets. Anyway, so these are just scraps. When I cut apart this paper, they come in individual like cello bags, and so I just cut off what I need and then I put the rest back into the little cello bag. And so these are just little strips that I've had left over. And I'm going to be using this stamp set from Fawn. This is the, let's see, Teeny Tiny Backdrops. I had to check the name. I'm going to use the one with the hearts. That would be super cute for this. So I'm going to lay that down, and then I'm going to get a block. And this block is the exact same length as the stamp. But these are obviously shorter than the stamp length, so I'm not too worried about these ends. Alright, in fact, these are actually going to be cut down even more after I've stamped them, so I'm not too worried at all. I'm going to be embossing with white embossing powder, so I'm going to stamp these with VersaMark ink. Okay, we'll start with the yellow one. Okay, I'll set this aside and I'll do some more stamping. Okay, so I've got these pieces all embossed, but I'm going to keep the VersaMark out because I'm going to be embossing one more thing, and I might as well do it now. Okay, so I have a strip of some chocolate chip cardstock from Stampin' Up. And since we're going to be stamping on this, I'm just going to adhere the back of it to my work surface. I have another Fawn stamp set. We're going to use the sentiment right here that says, "Our friendship is forever." And I really like that one because the handwriting kind of reminds me of my own. It's not mine. It's probably the person who designs all their stamps, but just reminded me of my own handwriting, so I thought it'd be kind of fun to use it. Now we're going to start putting the rest of the card together. I have some cardstock here that I'm going to be using some Copic markers on. And this, don't get scared because this is a really easy Copic marker technique. I only own a very few Copic markers, and so I'm just doing one color. Like, it's not anything fancy, but I am going to get a little bit of a gradient, and I'll show you how to do that. So this piece of cardstock is actually from Gina, and it's their pure luxury cardstock. I've heard it's really good with Copic markers. In fact, the heavier weight, when you use Copic markers on it, it doesn't go through all the way to the back. Okay, so this is cut to 3 inches wide by 4 1/4 tall. And we're going to start building all of our card elements on top of this. I'm going to cut these strips into just where it's just one row of hearts, and then you can save the rest to make another card exactly like this, or you can just save it for anything else. Okay, and I'm going to adhere these down to the bottom portion of the card. Okay. I'm going to chop off these ends here, and this is eventually going to go about right there, but I'm actually going to make it into like a little banner that has little ends on it. So I'm going to cut each end and then I'm going to be adhering it underneath like that so that it becomes a little kind of a folded flag or whatever. Little dimensional adhesives on both ends. Then I'm just eyeballing it to make sure that it's the same, that the spacing's the same on both sides. Okay, so now I'm going to cut off this end. I'm going to come over here and cut off this end as well. And then I can make the little flag shape. I've got that portion done, and now I'm going to do another little stamp here. This is the, what is it called? Owl and Heart Balloon stamp, and it's just going to go right up here at the very top. And because I only have one chance to stamp this correctly, I'm going to use a Stamp-a-ma-jig. I'm also going to use Memento ink and Rich Cocoa. This is a really good ink to use for use with Copic markers. And just because it's really easy to clean off the Stamp-a-ma-jig imaging sheet, I'm going to use a chalk ink. So I want this little guy kind of off to the side. Okay. Have a little bit of that same cardstock left over from when I cut it down, and I'm going to stamp just the heart balloon section because we're going to color that separate and then have it be popped off the card. That was close. That's how close I want it. So I'm only going to use two colors actually, and this first one is RV11 in pink, and I'm just going to show you how I do Copic markers. I don't know how to blend two colors together yet, so this is just what I do. I'm going to just start coloring in circles. Actually, I'm not. I'm just going to go for it. And this one can go outside the edges because I'm going to be cutting it out anyway. Alright, so once that's, you know, going pretty well and give it a little second to dry, I'm going to go back over areas where it's going to start getting darker. So I'm going to start going over these outer edges. Letting it dry a little bit so it evens out. Okay, and now I'm going to go over the outer edge again to get that extra darkness. And I'm also going to go over the whole balloon one more time to kind of get it to blend. There's still a little bit of a gradient there though, and that's exactly what I want. And while that's drying, I'm going to come over here and I'm just going to give a once over really carefully of this entire balloon, because if someone lifts up the card and looks at it from the side, even though the other balloon is on top, you'll still be able to see a little bit of it, the one underneath. Okay. Let that dry a little bit more. Now I'm going to go over these edges one more time. Just trying to get a little extra darkness. And just keep adding to it. All right, I'm going to stop there. And now here's the real test. I'm going to turn this over and look, there's nothing on the other side. And I put down a lot of ink. It's a really good test for this paper. So I'm going to cut this down. And actually, before I do that, I forgot to get this little guy at the bottom. Okay, so I've got the little balloon. I'm going to go ahead and put it on dimensional adhesive. And place it directly over the one that's stamped below for a little pop. And on the owl, I don't have a brown marker. So, well, a light brown marker. But I do have this one, which is Cool Shadow. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put a little drop of this blue just around his eyes for a little bit of color. I'm going to put a little bit of this one right around him. Beneath the balloon. So there's a little bit of a shadow. And if I had a light brown color, I would definitely go in and color him in a light brown. But since I don't, I'm just going to go ahead and use a blender pen with some Colorbox fluid chalk ink. And I'm going to just put a little bit of this on the corner of an acrylic block. I'm just going to get a really light brown. It doesn't have the smooth look of the Copic markers. But this little guy looked really naked without any color on him. So I decided I better add a little bit. Now we're ready to finish off the card. I'm going to round these top corners with a We Are Memory Keepers corner chomper. And I'm going to be putting this in the center of the card. I'll go around the outside edge with dashed lines. Okay, and there's the card for this week. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll catch you guys next time. Thanks for watching.